Hey everybody, welcome to Rumble and Breaks. It's Race Sundays, and today we're in Austin, Texas. Unfortunately today I'm flying solo. Dr. F1's actually on a work trip, so you just have me today, unfortunately. But you know, why don't we get into it? I mean, this is the last two races was really wet, both in Singapore and Japan. Today, nice, sunny, hot. You know, a lot of celebrities and. Being in the U.S., a lot of celebrities in attendance. I know at the end of it, I saw Shaq, holding the trophy. I think he was just bringing it in that giant, looks like a Cadillac. It was pretty cool. But you know, this was a really interesting race. I mean, this is actually one of the nicer looking race tracks that I've seen. I mean, the track actually has some really nice uphill, downhill terrain. When I was watching FP2, what I noticed during the sunset was, this incredible. I'm a photographer at heart, so what I really loved was that there was this instance where the car's coming down the hill. You have this the giant flag of I think the Texas state flag on in the background, blowing in the wind. The sun setting, and you got the car in a silhouette. That was just a visually incredible. Like, if I could find a photo like that, that'd be incredible to actually hang on my wall. But yeah, why don't we get into the race? I mean, interestingly enough, I mean, you have, this card here. This was the pole position, your pole position leader. Carlos Sainz, the smooth operator himself. Fantastic run to actually have pole position at the start of the race. Unfortunately, during the race, he was taken out by this man. And I don't think there's anything that George Russell could have done to prevent it. But it was unfortunate that Carlos Sainz was taken out. It was just not very, unfortunate for the Ferrari fans too. There's a lot of them, but it was terrible. The smooth operator himself got taken out. Maybe he was hanging out with Connor Moore a little too it was a little too friendly with Connor Moore, and he essentially got taken out as a result. Just kidding. Connor Moore is great. In third place, the race in third place was Charles Leclerc, and then in a very tight second place position were these two guys. I mean, Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen taking it all. I know the last, I think 6 to 10 laps, they were both fighting it out. But it was a very intense race because they were like Lewis was chasing down Max. There was instances where they were both at that track limit penalty where they each had three points at that point. That if they actually had one more, they would have gotten a 5-second penalty, which could have decided the race. Verstappen could have been in third at that point. But alas, he won the race and therefore sealed the constructors championship as well. So, Max Verstappen officially the world champion, and Red Bull officially the constructors champions. So that was really great. Some interesting facts like in the race, I think, what is it? Carlos Sainz was the first to get taken out. Then, Bottas ended up getting beached. Latifi himself, there was no one around him, and he spins out just terrible. I don't know. I think they announced Logan Sargent to be taking over if he can get enough points for a super license. So hopefully he does. I think he's right now in third. And I think they're banking on him trying to actually finish and do well in the Abu Dhabi race at the end of the season. So hopefully he gets enough points. This is his rookie year in F2 as well. So if he can get enough points to actually do it, it'd be an interesting race next season to actually see how he does. A few grid penalties as well. We saw Perez starting in 9th, Leclerc actually starting in 12th. So finishing in third was incredible. I think at one point you actually saw Vettel in the race where he was actually in the lead. So it was an interesting stat. I mean, he's 3,500 laps led in his final season. So he was at 34.99, and I think he had 2 or 3 laps where he was leading Lewis Hamilton. So and then in some unfortunate instances where you know, actually both him and Verstappen had some unfortunate encounters in the pit where their cars, their tires got like, they weren't able, the pit crew weren't able actually to fasten their tires on. So, you know, I think if you know, just a few more seconds longer, and Verstappen may or may not have been in first place, and Lewis might have actually sealed his first place spot. And then, you know, throughout the race, there was another instances where, you know, Fernando Alonso actually popped a wheelie in his tire, pop a wheelie because like his car went airborne after colliding with Lance Stroll, because Lance Stroll had made a late maneuver. I think you know, Alonso was trying to get into the DRS zone and tried to move, but when he did that, you know, Lance Stroll did a very late aggressive move to turn and sort of struck the I guess the front wing of Alonso's car. I think he just basically was on the back two tires. You know, very fortunate for him that, you know, he had just passed the brake wall, so he just basically skinned the brake wall, took a part of his mirror off. I think his mirror was actually hanging on for a good chunk of the race, and then it actually finally fell off. You know, really disappointing. And then really disappointing was Daniel Ricciardo. I actually thought he was going to do well in this race, considering, you know, he loved the Texas the track. So it was kind of disappointing how he finished. He just you know, sort of laissez-faire in terms of his driving. So but I did, you know, this was actually one of the first weeks where I actually watched the race with commercials, and it was interesting to see his Heineken commercial. So it was good. It was a nice little change in breath in watching that. You know, one of the things when Verstappen and both Vettel had their pit problems, you know, I sort of made this running joke that it was you know, Brad Pitt striking all over. You know, Brad Pitt was actually in the pits itself. So you know, sort of a little running joke there. But yeah. So overall, it was an actually really interesting race. I really love the actual track itself versus street tracks. I know there's some instances where street's actually a little bit neater, but why don't we get breaking at this point? So that's essentially what happened at the track. All right, so we'll start. I got a couple of different packs here, so we'll do these. We'll do these cards here first. So that is an Alfa Romeo. Bottas beached himself this week. I think you know, Carlos Sainz was kept beaching himself in the first few races. Maybe, you know, he thought that he got some direction that this was an actual interesting beach in Texas. Lando Norris, kind of underwhelming this race. I know he finished in the top. I think he finished in the top 8, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think he finished in like 6th. He finished in 6th position today. Vettel. Oh, sorry, Lance Stroll. Actually, at one point, Lance Stroll was in the third or second spot. I was actually pretty hopeful for him. So, I'm sort of changing my tune if you notice over the last few videos that, you know, he's been doing pretty well. K-Mag himself, he had a big fight at the end of the race with Vettel. It was incredible. Like, when I was watching the play, I thought it was actually fast forward, but like, it was so fast, just how quickly they were maneuvering. Like, or maybe the race the directors actually fast forwarded it. Next we have Mercedes. That's a nice looking car. It's a nice looking picture. This is like the car pack. Alpine. Sergio Perez. Next week we're in Mexico, so, you know, I'm hopeful that, you know, that Perez will actually do well next week. Pierre Gasly, oh my gosh, like he was at one point he was in 7th, and then he took a very bad penalty, and basically he ended up in the back of the pack. It was so unfortunate for him. And we got a Cognizant and just 2 car cards. This is a very underwhelming pack. Well, hopefully these other packs will be a lot neater. These are Topps 2021 F1 hobby flagship packs. So let's see what we get. I think this is an actually really interesting product. I know we broke the blaster ones before, so this is Mateo, an F2 driver. James Allison. I think we got him. I think we got this one like last time, but I think, oh no, maybe not. This is Petronas. Oh, that's cool. Mick Schumacher rookie card. I think that's his rookie card. Let's see. Ooh, Oh wow, a Verstappen Aqua as well. Oh, this is not his rookie card. This is his freshest card. This is a Max Verstappen Aqua. I think this is out of 199. Very nice. That's a nice looking card. I'm gonna put this, set this aside. This is a checkered flag card of brand This is Simone Resta from Haas. Verstappen race card. And a Valtteri Bottas race card. That's not too bad. Let's see what we get here. So neat looking card. Again, Ricardo. Not too bad. Lance Stroll with his mask. It's neat. It's interesting that these they did these mask cards. Pierre Gasly. He's got this weird pose. This is Adrian Seidel and Daniel Ricciardo's card. This is a neat little looking blueprint card. Next we have Christian Lundgaard. I think he was doing pretty well this season, or yeah, I keep getting him mixed up with Caleb Eilert, who's now in IndyCar. Yuki Tsunoda actually finished in 10th this season, this week. No crashes, nothing out of the ordinary. So good for Yuki. Zindelli, that's a neat looking car. And Marcus Armstrong, he's doing okay. I mean, I think he's in like his 4th or 5th season now. He's a hardcore grinder in terms of racing. Let's get to this here. Kimi Räikkönen. When you look, if you watch his old videos, he's very blank-faced in terms of he's got his poker face going on during the interviews. It's really interesting. He's just very blunt. Kimi Räikkönen. This is like a Kimi Räikkönen pack. Antonio Giovinazzi. So unfortunate for him. He was test driving he was doing the Haas in FP3 and he crashed. Like basically that sort of sealed his fate in terms of, you know, not being able to get a seat. Like I think that might actually have, because they had the scramble and fix Magnussen's car during this race. Daniel Ricciardo Apex. That's not too bad. Oh, that's an interesting Valtteri Bottas checkered flag card. Really nice backdrop. Daniel Ricciardo. Nikita Mazepin, no longer racing. Well, no longer racing F1. I think he's doing some rally car stuff. And Richard Vorshare. And last but not least, 2020. Still looking for a Hamilton or Verstappen or anybody, actually. Oh, look at that. Charles Leclerc. That's nice. That's actually a really nice card. I don't think that's his actual card. Yeah, it's, oh no, it is his actual card. That's neat. That is, oh, that's definitely a keeper. That's a card that we wanted. Very nice. Oh, that's a few bucks there. And his buddy, Carlos. Carlos in his McLaren team. That's neat. That's an actual hit. I mean, 2 drivers in a pack. That's usually doesn't happen very often. Wow, we got lucky there. And we got Lewis Hamilton throwing the trophy. That's neat. And last, Caleb Eilert. There you go. See, that's what I was talking about. Caleb Eilert. He's now in IndyCar. He's doing, I think he was doing pretty okay. I haven't actually been keeping track, but that's a refractor. See, a refractor. That's neat. Hopefully, I mean, hopefully he does well, and you know, if he comes back, hey, look, I have his rookie card. That's awesome. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and next week we are in Mexico, so look forward to doing another one of these next week. Have a great week.